At 72, I stopped chasing my children's love. And what happened next shocked me. Hi, I'm Maya. Today I'm going to share how I corrected a 40-year mistake and started living the happiest period of my life. This is a story every parent needs to hear. For years, I tried to be the perfect mother. I was always there for them, fulfilled their every wish, tried to solve all their problems. But one day I realized that the more I tried to give, the more they pulled away from me. I was spending holidays alone. When I called, they'd say, "Mum, I'm not available right now." I was missing out on loving my grandchildren, and I kept asking myself, where did I go wrong? You see, I raised 3 children, Sarah, David, and Emma. I thought that by being available 24/7, by sacrificing everything for them, I was showing love. But I was actually teaching them that my time, my feelings, my life had no value. Last year was my daughter Sarah's birthday. I had spent weeks planning the perfect celebration, bought her an expensive gift, and even baked her favourite cake from scratch, the one that takes me 6 hours to make. When I arrived at her house with everything, she greeted me at the door but didn't invite me in. "Mom, we're really busy today. Thanks for the cake. Maybe we can catch up another time," she said, barely looking at the gift. I stood there, holding that heavy cake, watching the door close in my face. At that moment, something broke inside me. Not just my heart, my entire belief system. When I got home, I looked in the mirror and said to myself, "Maya, you're 72 years old and you're still begging for scraps of attention from your own children. This ends today." That night I made a decision that would change everything. I would no longer chase after them. I wouldn't call them constantly. I wouldn't make their plans. I was going to live my own life. The first week was the hardest week of my life. I wanted to pick up the phone and call Sarah, David, or Emma every single day. But I stopped myself. Instead, I did something I hadn't done in decades. I focused on me. I started by calling my neighbour Dorothy. She's a wise woman who had been through similar situations with her own children. Dorothy told me something that changed my perspective. Maya, when you're always available, you become invisible. When you're always giving, they stop seeing you as a person with your own needs. The second week, I signed up for a pottery class at the community centre. I had always wanted to try it, but never had time, because I was too busy managing everyone else's life. The third week, I joined a hiking group for seniors. Can you believe it? At 72, I was hiking mountains and feeling more alive than I had in years. By the 4th week, I started volunteering at the local animal shelter. Those rescue dogs appreciated my presence in a way my own children hadn't in years. And you know what happened? For the first time in decades, I woke up excited about my own day, not worried about theirs. Week 6 was when everything shifted. My son David called me on a Tuesday afternoon. "Mum, how are you? Sarah said she tried calling you yesterday, but you didn't answer. We were expecting you to call like always," he said. "I'm doing fantastic, David. I was at my pottery class yesterday, then went hiking with my new group." "Sorry, I saw the missed call, but I was having too much fun to call back immediately," I replied. There was complete silence on the other end. "Pottery class? Hiking? Mom, are you okay?" "I'm more than okay, sweetheart. I'm actually living my life for the first time in decades." The next day, Emma showed up at my door unannounced, something that hadn't happened in 3 years. "Mum, David told me about your new activities. What's going on?" I invited her in for tea and showed her the pottery bowl I had made. Her eyes widened. "Mom, this is actually beautiful. I didn't know you were artistic." "There are many things about me you don't know, Emma. I'm just now discovering them myself." That conversation lasted 2 hours, the longest we had talked in years. Today, 10 months later, I have a completely different relationship with my children, and more importantly, with myself. Sarah now calls me twice a week just to chat, not because she needs something, but because she's genuinely curious about my life. Last month, she even asked if she could join my pottery class. David brings his children over every other weekend. He told me, "Mum, you seem so much happier and more interesting. The kids love hearing about your adventures." Emma and I have started a monthly tradition. Just the two of us go to lunch and talk about everything. She recently said, "Mum, I'm sorry I took you for granted. I never realized how fascinating you are when you're not worried about us all the time." Through this journey, I learned 4 life-changing lessons that I want to share with every parent watching. First, your worth is not determined by how much your children need you. You are valuable simply because you exist. Second, when you constantly chase people, even your own children, you teach them that your time and attention have no value. They learn to take you for granted. Third, the best gift you can give your adult children is showing them how to live a fulfilling life. Be the example of happiness, not the source of guilt. Fourth, it's never too late to start living for yourself. I began my real life at 72. You can start at any age. If you're in a similar situation, ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't constantly worrying about my children's approval? Then go do that thing. If I could transform my life at 72, you can transform yours at any age. Age is just a number, but regret lasts forever. To every parent watching this, your children need to see you living a full, independent life. It's the greatest lesson you can teach them about self-respect and happiness. If this story resonates with you, please share your own experiences in the comments. Let's create a community where we support each other in living authentically. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more real stories about finding yourself after decades of living for others. And remember Maya's golden rule: you are too precious to chase after anyone, including your own children. When you start honoring yourself, everyone else will follow. Until next time, keep living your beautiful, worthy life.